Hello all. In this video, we are going to see structures in C program. Okay, so actually what is structure means? It will going to help to save multiple data type as one type. That means multiple data type as one data type or one entity. So say for an example, I am going to take one person means the person has age and name and ID, date of birth. So when I refer to the when I refer to the person, obviously I am getting into the other details. So if I save a person as an entity or a type, I can able to just make a branch of that particular type as age, name, ID and date of birth. So whenever I am calling a person 1, the person 1 detail will be appeared. Whenever I am going to call the person 2, a person 2 detail will be appear. It is like an Aadhaar card. For example, if you are going to just enter our Aadhaar card in any other government centers, obviously the corresponding detail will be displayed. So Aadhaar card will be one long identity, but that identity will save all other different data types of details. Same as like that, here person means we can save several datas. For example, name, age, ID, date of birth, and etc. Okay, so this is what the structures we mean in C. Okay, so only we call it as it will be going to save multiple data type as one type or one entity. Okay, so in here in this video we are going to see three types of implementation in structures. One will be the normal method, the basic structure example. Another will be using array plus structure, that means array of structures. And finally using dynamic memory allocation, that means I am going to allocate the memory of the structures in the runtime. These three important methods we are going to see in this video. Before getting into the video, that is implementations, we have to know what is the difference between array and structures. Actually, array will going to save the similar kind of data. Here you see that I am going to save 10, 1, 99, 70, 78 and 91 are all I am just saving as an integer. So the size of an integer is, this array is 5. So all the 5 memory space will be saved as a single data type. Okay, so here top of the particular element will, we can call it as an item or data or elements, and they refer to, we can going to refer the element through the index. So for example, if I want to print 78 means I am going to just call ARR variable of 3 means 78 will be print. If I want to print 91 means ARR of 4 means 91 will print. Likewise, I can save only singular data types in one set of memory. But this is not enough. For example, I want to save like this. I want to save student's name, roll number and their percentage, and I am going to name as a structures. Sorry, name as a student means I can use structures using struct keyword. So using struct keyword and the name of the structures we have to use, and we can save their detail in the multiple data types, and we can call that as a member of the structures. Then how it will going to save in our memory means, this is the example how it will going to save in our memory. For example, here we are having the structure name called my struct. Okay, and I am having three variables. One will be integer, another will be in the character, and another will be in the float. So integer carries 4 bytes. So first 4 bytes will going to carry the particular 4 bytes will carry the var1 variable, and the next I am allocated 8 bytes for var2. For why? Because for why the integer is allocating 4 bytes? Because the basic data size of an integer is 4 bytes. Okay, now character will allocate 8 bytes. So I am going to allocate it as 8 bytes. Followed by 4 bytes, I am going to allocate as 8 bytes. So 4 plus 8, 12 bytes so far allocated. Last 4 bytes will be allocated by the float, that is var3. Here, this is the example. Now I name this particular my struct type variable as structure underscore variable. This is the variable struct underscore var is a variable. My struct is a data type set for these 3 data types. Okay, so I am going to name this as a, for example, whenever I want to use the first person integer character float for the one I want to save, means I need to call struct underscore var, but it will going to represent through my struct. Okay, so this is the basic introduction we are going to see here, and followed by the program. For the program, we are going to see first one as a normal method, second one as an array method, and third one as a dynamic memory allocation. Using malloc or cloc, we are going to see. So first one is a normal method. For example, here I am going to implement as a normal method here. Here in this video, sorry, here in this example, we are just implemented the struct name called student. Struct name called student. Okay, so now I am in the structure of the student. I am going to save their detail as name, register number, and department. Okay, now I have allocated the name as a 50 bytes, department as a 50 bytes, because character will allocate each character as 1 bytes. So 50 means 50 bytes. Integer will going to allocate as 4. So totally 50 plus 50, 100 plus 104 bytes. So the students will going to carry 104 bytes for me. So this is the tag name of my structures. Okay, I am not going to use this tag name as a variable. Now before the main we need to complete this process, and after the main what we have to do means we need to start with the tag name, struct keyword, tag name, any tag name you are giving for your data type, followed by your variable. For example, here student1 will carry, sorry, student will carry student1, student2, and student3. So I am going to save name, register number, and department of 3 students. So I am going to saving here. So first, how do I get means all the procedures are same as like as a normal variable what we are using in the C program, but we need to call through that corresponding variable name, student1 dot name, student1 dot register number, student1 dot department. In the scanf, we need to add the variable name. Be careful, you should not add the tag name. You have to use the tag name for the declarations. After that, this variable name only used in this particular variable together, that is the member with variable we have to use. Under the student, name is one of the member. Under the student, register number is one of the member, and department is another member. So student1 dot name, student1 dot register number, Student 1 dot department, I am saving it. Obviously same like that of student 2 dot name, student 2 dot register number, student 2 dot department I am saving here, followed by third student detail, student 3 dot name, 3 dot register number and 3 dot department. So likewise in the printf and scanf we have to utilize this variable. Okay, so as you already know that whenever you are using the character you should not give the ampersand, because character will allocate the 1 byte automatically, and whenever you are using other data type you have to use the ampersand. That's why the ampersand is not there here. Okay, so then followed by I am printing the all the details, student 1 detail, student 2 detail and student 3 details. Okay, so here how it will execute means I will compile and run here. First student name Ram, so their register number is 1, their department is CSE, and student 2 name is Rahim, and their register number is 2, their department is ECE, and student 3 name is John, their register number is 3, and their department is triple E. So if I just give, automatically it will going to save student 1 detail, student 2 detail and student 3 details. Automatically it will going to save the detail like this. Okay, so this is how we are using the normal method for the structures. But what is here the issue is, for 3 students I am declaring 3 variables. What about the 30 students? If I want to save this for 30 students, I need to get the 30 student detail means here I need to go for array of structures. Okay, for I need to go into the array of structures. Here we are using the array of structures. In the previous example, if you see that I am saving name, register number and department in the student 1 and student 2 and student 3 variables separately. In the tag name of student under the structure struct keyword I am saving it. But here I am saving the 3 student detail. So I am giving the 3 different variable here. But when I getting into the 30 student detail or 300 student details, so I need to implement array of structures. So here array of structure is this one. All the particular syntax are same, exactly the same, except instead of here we are using student 1 comma student 2 comma student 3. That means I am just going to allocating one student detail in the different variable, but here I am going to map that as an array. For example, in the index number 0, first student detail will be saved. In the index number 1, second student detail will be saved. Likewise, it will go. For example, here you have to use for loop for the particular details. For example, here I am giving I is equal to 0, I lesser than or equal to 30 and I plus plus and the plus plus I, sorry. Then I am going to give I here. Instead of here in this previous example, you see that I am using the separate variables, but here I am using the only single variables. Under the tag name of student, only students array will be there. So students of I dot name, students of I dot register number. So whenever the for loop is incremented, my I value 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 30, from 0 to 29, 30 students detail I can get from the user using this for loop. This is the basic structure of array of structures in C, and obviously for printing also we have to use the same details. For printing also we are going to use the same detail. Here at the sample I am going to use 3 student detail for you. Whatever we have seen in the previous example, I am going to use this as a 3 student details. Okay, so let's execute this one. 1 minute. Some older version problem. Here I am going to make a student name Ram, register number 1, CSC, same detail I am giving. Again student name Rahim, student register number 2, and I am giving EZE, student name John, register number 3, and I am giving triple E. Here you see that student 1, student 2, student 3. So it is saving as like that. Please note that I am just executing this particular array of structures, not the normal array. For example, I am going to increase this as a 5. I am going to increase as 5. Okay, then I am going to save and compile and running it. Now I am giving Ram, this number 1, CSE, Rahim, his register number 2, EZE, and John, register number 3, triple E. Oh, 1 minute, it's not saving properly. Actually, we have to give 5 here. The problem is I am not changing the for loop. Let execute again. Ram 1, CSE, Rahim 2, Easy, John, register number 3, triple E, Michael 4, Mech, and Sita 5, AIDS. If I give like this, for example, totally 5 details I am entering here, and while I am pressing here, you see that I am getting 5 different details, student details. Okay, so this will be possible only in the array of structures. Why? Because whenever I want to define the more number of student details, I can go for array of structures. For example, if you want to enter only 1 or 2 student details, 1 or 2 person or entity details, you have to go for normal structures. But in my experience, what I am suggested is always get practice with the array of structures, because we are not going to deal with one data, we are going to deal with multiple million of data, no? So it will be maximum we practice with multiple datas. That means we can use array of structures. Okay, now we are getting into the array of structures, but I am fixing my particular memory in my compile time itself, but I need to fix my memory in the runtime for the structures. For that I am getting into the malloc. Okay, same detail I am getting. I am not changing any detail here. Name, register number and department. And here I am just declaring one more variable, number of students, because I want to define my size of an array in the runtime, not in the compile time. So I am getting the number of students from the user first, followed by I am going to declare one pointer variable called students under the stack name of student, because the student will carry over name, register number and department. And I am going to declare, I am going to use the malloc variable here, struct student star. That means I am going to allocate my physical memory for the student tag. This is the meaning of this student star, followed by I am going to call the function called memory function called malloc, and number of students. What is this variable is about means this particular variable. For example, if I give 10 here, it will allocate 10 memory size for me. If I give 20 here, it will going to allocate 20 memory size for me. So according to the number of student, this tag name, this particular structure will allocate me the memory. Okay, for example, here you see that my total memory is 104 bytes, 50 bytes plus integer 4 bytes, 104 bytes. For example, I am getting 10 particular 10 student details. My number of student is 10 means here 10 multiplied by 104. Totally 1040 bytes will be allocated in the runtime. For that we have to give like this using malloc function. So except those as well as that same particular procedure we have to follow for malloc function, we need to check whether we have exactly allocated the memory or not using this if statement. If students is this variable student is double equal to null, it has to return 1. That means if it is not allocated, it will going to display as 1, and followed by in the previous example I am allocated the values. According to the values it will going to run my program. That means 5 times mean 5 times, 10 times mean 10 times, but here according to my runtime input my for loop will going to run. Except those everything's are same. Array of structures and dynamic memory allocations are same. Only thing is we have to allocate the memory in the runtime. That is what we are doing here. For example, here I am giving compile and run, and 1 minute in teacher. Then I need to give I comma. And one more thing, very important is after you are using your malloc function, we have to free that particular memory so only other process can use it. So we can compile and run now. So first of all I am giving the number of student detail is 6. So I am giving the number of detail of the students as now. Register number is 1, CSE, Rahim, register number is 2, Easy, and register number student name is John, register number is 1 2, register number is 2 3, and department is triple E, and Michael, register number is 5, department is civil, and then Sita, register number is 6, department is AIDS. So finally we are getting into the register number is Radha, register number is 7, department is civil. Here you see that all the details I am printing, all the details here. Okay, student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4, student 5, student 6. Okay, totally I am printing all the details of the students. For example, if I give only 2 student details here, I am compiling and running. If I am just giving number of student is just 2, so I am giving Ram 1, CSE, sorry CDE, and Rahim 2, Easy. Obviously it will going to just going to print only 2 student detail because I am printing, I am just getting the number of students in the runtime. According to my particular runtime input, my array will be allocated, my array of structures will be allocated. This is the overall model of DMA, dynamic memory allocation model in the structures. So overall we have seen that array structure is a multiple data type which will be saved as a one type, and there are 3 methods we have seen in this video: normal method, array method and dynamic method. Thank you.